Welcome to Mindful Mondays. This is the course on mindfulness of mind. So, the third element of the Mindfulness Sutra. So this week we're looking at the nature of mind, and we're going to introduce you to the 5 aggregates. So we're going to look at what are the 5 aggregates, why to be mindful of them, and then do a meditation on mind. So the Buddha said a proper understanding of the 5 aggregates is essential towards attaining freedom from suffering. So that's why we're going to look at it. So what are the 5 aggregates? The 5 aggregate teaching was taught by the Buddha to explain what we are as human beings, what we're made up of. And there's 5 things that we're going to go through. So they are, number 1 is material form, rupa, we have a body. Number 2 is feelings and sensations, vedanta. 3, perceptions, sana. 4, mental formations, sankhara. Consciousness, vijnana. So what it's saying here is, the 5 aggregates represent the constant structure of human psychology, as well as its pattern of evolution and the evolution of the world. So they're also related to blockages of different types, so spiritual ones, material ones, and emotional ones. So let's look at each one in detail. So we start with material form. So it's the 5 physical organs. We have ear, nose, eye, tongue, body. Physical objects of the sense organs. So it's the sound, the sight, the smell, the taste, and tangible objects. Inner body feelings of thirst, hunger, and the feeling of and having quench thirst. So you become what you're seeing, hearing, and feeling, because things are based on the sense objects. So the second area is the feelings and sensations. So sensations are the judgment that we pass on a perception that we gain experience through the 6 senses. And the way that we classify those feelings are 3 ways. We either like it, we find it unpleasant, we dislike it, or we neither like it or dislike it. It's a neutral feeling. But they're all basis for aversion or attachment. So if we like it, we want more of it, so we get attached to it. And if we don't like it, we push it away. We don't want it. The feeling side of things, according to Buddhist thought, does not create karma, because the feelings just come and go. Okay. So the 5 aggregates are not eternal and ultimate in nature, but they're conditioned. They arise from circumstances and causes. Like all phenomena, they come and go, endure and change and disappear. So they are impermanent. Third is our perceptions. So this is the capacity to recognize something, to conceptualize it by associating things go with things. So what it actually means, the Pali word, is knowledge, and it puts it all together. Again, this does not create karma. It's the recognition of names or identities on the sensory level. Our perceptions are soaked in this judgment mentality. So we hold our perceptions to be true, and that's the way it is, which forms the judgment. The fourth is the mental formations. So that comes in 6 forms. Mental formation, because of the 6 senses. This is linked to karma because it's volitional actions. So karma means action, and you start to create action. Just as the mind states intentions that lead to actions, emotional states cause us to act in specific ways, and those actions cause and affect our karma. That's how it links together. So our mental attitudes and concepts are formed by habits that are totally conditioned by physical and external circumstances. They are enslaved by those circumstances. And then the 5th one, which is linked to all of the other 4, is consciousness. We perceive our separateness from the surrounding environment. We think we're separate. But in reality, we're not. We're all connected. So it's the process for the other 4 to form a stream of series of thoughts, a river of thoughts flowing, flowing, flowing. Consciousness depends on the other aggregates because it does not exist independently from them. When A arises, B arises. When I close my eyes, I cannot see that. And when I open my eyes, I can see. That's how it's linked. So it breaks down into those different senses. So you do have eye consciousness. You have ear consciousness, hearing, cognizing sound. You have nose consciousness, smell. You have tongue consciousness for taste. And you have body consciousness for tangible sensations. And finally is the mind consciousness, which cognizes objects of outer senses, such as sounds and sights, as well as mental objects, the ideas, the memories, the abstract notions. But it's all dependent on the other aggregates. Okay, so why did Buddha teach this? Why to be mindful of the 5 aggregates, or understand this term, the 5 aggregates? Well, it all comes back to, if we understand how the mind works, then we understand that we can train the mind and we can stop leading to unskillful actions. That's the bottom line is basically clinging to something is going to cause suffering. And that's the key, is understanding that we don't have to cling to it, and will give us the freedom. So it's one of the most important concepts in Buddhism because it's explaining the wisdom of the way things are. And understanding them will help you understand the rest of the teachings, because each individual comes into the world with certain attributes as conditions of existence. And we're formed and we're shaped and we grow those perceptions. And it's from past experiences and from whatever's happening in the present to determine our future. There are genetics, but it's basically unique and individual to each one of us. We're all made up in a different way. But clinging to these 5 aggregates will cause suffering. So clinging to a perception that you hold will cause suffering. Clinging to the body will cause suffering, thinking that it's never going to change, and you're going to your beauty will last forever, that will cause suffering. Clinging to aversion, hatred will cause suffering. Clinging to a mental formation of the way you see things, how they are, could cause suffering. Because it's like this, the mind is like the sea. It can be rough on the surface when the mountainous waves stir it up by the wind, but it can be very calm and peaceful at the bottom. So a great analogy for this is John Kabat-Zinn, is that when we're kind of on the shoreline, we've got waves crashing down on us, and it's the constant drama cycle happening. Whereas if we swim out a little bit to sea, then before the waves break, we're there, and we can start to see the waves breaking on the shore and not get involved in it. So let's do a meditation practice on the mind. So getting into a meditative posture, whatever's comfortable for you, could be sitting on the floor or sitting on a chair. And just paying attention to keep the back nice and upright. And just resting the hands one on top of the other on the thighs. If you're sitting on a chair, just uncrossing your legs. And now just scanning the body from the head all the way down to the toes. Getting present to any sensations. Now checking in with the mind and just noticing what mind state you're currently in. Just putting any worries or concerns aside. While we set our intention for this mindfulness practice on the mind. Getting present to the impermanence of the mind, changing from moment to moment. Understanding that the mind is made up of sense perceptions, verbal and abstract thought, emotions, feelings of happiness and unhappiness, attention, concentration, intelligence, and memories. It covers every type of mental activity. You are not your body and you're not your mind. The nature of mind is a bit like a river where thoughts are running down the stream. Some of those thoughts may not be your own thoughts. Maybe someone else's perception of something. We tend to believe that it's true, that our thoughts are not facts. As the Buddha says, the mind is everything. What you think, you become. So if we create the world we live in through our thoughts, and our mind states, perhaps it's time to investigate, as unwholesome mind states can lead to unskillful actions. Remembering the 5 hindrances: sense desire, greed, aversion, ill will leading to hate, sloth and torpor leading to laziness, restlessness leading to being distracted, doubt leading to indecision. So just being with the mind, part of our mindfulness practice. It takes courage to sit with the mind, using the framework for mindfulness. We can apply 4 elements. Recognize what mind state is arising. Acknowledge that mind state. do what you need to do to calm yourself down. Then use this insight meditation to investigate the cause of that mind state. And then get present to non-identifying with that mind state as self. Detach from it. Coming back to the breath now. Breathing in and breathing out. And getting ready to come out the meditation by slowly opening your eyes and coming back into the room. So what was your experience? What came up? And just note it down. Okay, so this is a good way of looking at life, appreciating what we're able to do and not feel bad about what we haven't done. We haven't done what we haven't done. Just inviting those feelings is just going to lower your energy levels. So any questions, please get in touch and we will go through them and explore it in further detail. So here's the invitation to do the work. So start to review the 5 aggregates and consolidate the teaching in your mind. Watch a Dharma talk on it. Get present to the nature of the mind and why it's important to understand it for your practice. Here's a resource list where you can look at that. A blog by Mind Valley about why the 5 aggregates are so important. And also some Buddhist